We have to deal with it, but there aren't any teachers out there to tell us on how to deal with it. Creativity. We just expect it to be there, or we do everything we can to push it away because we're not in the mood. You don't have to be in the mood for creativity because we live off creativity every single breath you take. Everything around you is part of somebody else's creativity. But do you respect them for that? Why do you want people to respect you if you don't respect them? Unplugged because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. Oh man, my nose. My God. I might have to do one of those nose things, you know, and that's just kind of embarrassing to do right in the middle of a conversation. But I think we do it all the time. We just kind of forgive people when they do it. It's a lot better than what my dad used to do. My dad didn't care where he was, what time of day it was. My dad would sit there and he would shoot a snot rocket anywhere. He would just sit there and go, and you would go, Dad? And he goes, what? What? But you got to remember that my father fought in World War II. He was out there on the line. He was out there in those holes that they dug to protect themselves from flying bullets and bombs. And, you know, a nose rocket was the way that he probably expressed himself. I get that thing out of my nose, I feel a little bit better because outside, everything else looks like crap. But, you know, we always do that. You got allergies? I don't know. But, you know, I just got to make sure that my nose is clean. Hey, it's Arroe. This is the Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. It's one of those things that I wish I could convince you to do. Just to write about whatever's happening in your moment of now. Because there's always something being given to you during your days when you think that there are no answers to any questions that you're asking. But they're right there. They're always being given to you. It's just that we sit there and go, that's what we do. Something happens and it's like, well, you just put it back up in your brain. What are you going to do with it? I don't know. I felt a tickle in my nose and I felt like I needed to do that. It's like, come on now. Figure out your path by listening to what's being given to you. You're receiving at all times. And I'm not talking about your smartphone or any other digital device. It's out here in the real world. Not the metaverse, but the real world. Without going, you know what I mean? This is the Daily Mess. You know, as a child, I heard stories about Elvis Presley taking drugs to go to sleep, and he took them also to wake up. I couldn't figure out what exactly that lifestyle meant when I was a kid. I remember hearing those stories, and I kept going, I don't get it, because I have no problems falling asleep, and when I wake up, man, I'm ready to rock. But look at our generation today. The enormous amount of supplements and drugs that are sold to go to sleep. The amazing amount of coffee and other things to get back up. We are no different than what Elvis Presley was going through. He just didn't have what we have today. I mean, it's amazing how much melatonin goes across my grocery store counter. So bad, I want to break out in a conversation and say, do you know what you're doing? Or is this something that you picked up on Google? Because I understand that you're trying to get some sleep. But I don't know if you're like me, but going to sleep is not the problem. It's staying asleep because we've got overactive imaginations. But, you know, I'm not going to cross that line. I'm not going to ask that question because what you do to go to sleep and to wake up is a personal journey. I can't imagine what it's doing to our mind, body, and souls. I'm guilty of this. I swear to God I am. I'm very transparent with you. I call this shutting off the voices. My wife will say, what are you doing? Shutting off the voices? What do you mean? I got to turn them off. I just got to turn them off. I got to say, give me some space to just be me. But I expect them to be there when I get up in the morning. The mind, body, and soul, like I said, it's there. It's got to be that one thing that has to show up. It's a tortured vessel. We demand so much from our inner core. It's as if we're paying something off. But what? And when we don't get it, we get upset. When you order from Amazon, okay, it's going to take 2 days to get here. But when we want something from this body, come on, Come on! What is going on here? We want it instantly. We want that victory. And spiritually speaking, we want it all for free. Listen to this. I'm telling you. If you could see my daily writing inside this book, every page here is full of words. Questions, few answers. And then I come here and I say that taking pills to go to sleep and to wake up is a normal way of life. And I don't think that it's a good thing for the mind, body, and soul. And the reason why, you want to read the journals? Do you want to see what it's like to wake up? What do you do when you first wake up in the morning? Turn on the TV, go pee, make some coffee? I write, because that's what I've chosen to do to wake up. Not to take a drug, but to let whatever's out here be the guide to wake up. I do get angry. I do get upset with when the mind isn't always activated because I need it right now. I need it now. But I'll wait 3 or 4 days for something being delivered from Amazon. Shutting off the voices at night, I do a defrag journal because I'm just trying to let it go. Because once you empty your closets, then you'll sleep through the night. You're not going to wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because you let it go without taking the drugs, without taking different things, supplements and things like this, in order to shut off the voices. See, when my wife asks me, what are you doing? And I say, I'm shutting off the voices. I'm not doing anything but writing. I'm giving those voices a place to put their presence. And it's kind of fascinating to come back the next morning, and I literally say this. What did you talk about last night before you went to bed? And you read it and you go, thank God you did this before you went to bed. You didn't need this to be the reason why you woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.